people who help other people like this, all I would say is say a little prayer for them. Say a little prayer for people like that. Never mind what all the things you hear. When you're really human, you can help people even by your prayers. It's better that way. I know Jim don't want your money. He's got enough. He's a good performer, good singer, good saxophonist. Getting ready to go to the spirit world. He lived in Vienna for 1 year with the medical care, and he pushed it away. That's it, no more. I'm going home. Get ready. Get everything ready and go on. So I just want to say that, in memory of some of the people who traveled in Europe, who helped a lot of people in Europe, and going on to the spirit world. In the Lakota ways, we say, to leave your Mother Earth, it is hard, because that's your last mother. But then you fall to the earth to give it life. As your body turns to dust, to the earth, and all my little friends will be eating. That's good about it. It's always nice, everybody wants to be cremated so they wouldn't be eaten by worms. But it's nice to be eaten by worms. Somebody's eating, there wouldn't be no starvation for the worms anyway. It leads to a story of a friend of mine, uncle, let's put it uncle. His name was Chief Eagle Feather. He was one of our Sundance chief. He was half German, half Lakota. But he spoke the Lakota language. And my father and Chief Fool's Crow gave him the name of Chief Eagle Feather. And he worked very hard among our people. And he was a good man. And the day he died, they decided to carry his body, wrapped in a buffalo robe, do it traditionally. But his nephew said, his grandson said, don't put him on a scaffold. Just put him in the earth, wrapped in a buffalo robe. First of all, they got him there, and the rope broke, and they dropped him down. They dropped him to the bottom, and he landed on his face at the bottom. So they had to get down there to turn him around. And he's a big man. He's the same size as I am, so they had a hard time. They finally got him right. They forgot about everything. Oh, we did the burial. The Bureau of Indian Affairs came and said, you have to put him in a box. So they had to dig him up. So this is what the BIA does, the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So they dug him up, and they put him in a casket, nice looking casket. You know how the caskets look. It's got all this shiny brass, and silk inside. That's your last bed. So they put him in that, and they put him in a rough box. They put him in the earth. And the BIA said, how did this man die? There's got to be an autopsy done. They dug him back up again. After they dug him up, it was too much for the medicine people. So they converged on the BIA and said, "Go on, get out of here." They reburied Uncle Bill. But he always said, "One day I'm going to die." And he said this among medicine people. He said, "I want you to lay me down, face down on the earth." We should have left him that way. We should have listened to what he was saying. But he said, "I want you to get a brass plate." Because, the anthropologists and archaeologists, they like to dig up people. So I want you to put a brass plate right on my rear end. It says, "Kiss my ass," right there. The sad part is we didn't do it. And we should have did it, but we didn't do it. And in that way, we sort of abused Uncle Bill in that way. But we have chiefs now that are not full blood. What they call pure Indian, If there is such a thing as a pure Indian. Is there a pure Swiss here? It's hard to say what is pure, pure. If you're talking about the purity of the heart or the blood. The Indians say we walk this red road all our life. And this red road that we talk about is not the Indian's road. Of course, in this life we call everybody by names. We call it the black man, the red man, the yellow man, and the white man. There's no green, there's no blue. Yet, not yet. That's coming, I try to learn the history of every country, and what makes them the way they are. And one of the greatest challenges for me in America is to sit there and look at American people. And I wonder which part of him is Swiss, which part of his face is Dutch. Maybe the Dutch have the most crooked nose. So you start looking at faces, so whose face is what, what part of the country. I'm not here for political reasons. I never have, although people like to put me in politics. I do spiritual work for a long time now. And matter of fact, practically all my life. I was born in one of those. My mother had me in a sweat lodge. It was good. That's why, where my connection is to that. And I teach about it a lot. It has nothing to do with the buffalo calf pipe. This is older, carbon dating from 50 to 80,000 years. That's how old this is. This is not a new church. This was not yesterday's church. This is long before man started thinking about religion. And the way the creation, it tells the creation, the story of how the earth was created. It talks about applying yourself and how to live in your life.